Last time we saw the result of that tremendous clasp of oneness, and what happened was suddenly there rose a new and marvelous creation. New and marvelous creation. As I told you earlier, that this must have happened around 1942. This particular line. In 1938, we saw the divine light, this fundamental light, coming into his physical, just coming and going, coming and going. Then took place more or less immediately after that. The light came to my brain, all that. It happened in August 1938, and November 1938 we met with an accident. You can imagine the kind of opposition which has been faced for establishing and stabilizing that life in the physical. And the opposition was to attack not Shirendo but the mother.
1938.
1938. Not Shirendo but the mother. They were very wise people who were attacking, who had planned a strategy that if they had to attack, they should attack the mother and not Shirendo. They would not dare to do that thing, that is one aspect of it. The other, perhaps more important, more significant, more occult, is an aspect that it is she who is going to be the executor of all that will follow. She will carry out the process of manifestation and all that, not Shirendo, but she. Therefore, rather attack her, that is a part of the wisdom, and not Shirendo. And Shirendo thought that he would not attack him. He forgot to protect himself. He wanted to protect the mother, and he met with an accident. But then that accident was turned into a kind of a divine opportunity to push things forward. And things really moved extremely fast. In the outward world, the manifestation of the conflict which was going on was the arrival of the Second World War, September 1939 itself, you see. Around that time, you see. So everything was kind of gathering at a given point to assert itself. The hostile, the divine forces, they are now on the battlefield to assert themselves, this or that, you see. So it was a very tough kind of a period. Now after the accident, when Shirendo recovered, more or less after that, after 2 years, he devoted most of his time in revising the life divine, and a few chapters from some books here and there, from the Essays in the Gita, first part, a few things here and there from the synthesis, a few other things here and there. Means almost for 2 years he was concentrating himself on his prose writings. The major part of course being the Life Divine. You see. Life Divine has started coming out 39-40 itself in 3 big volumes, you see, at that time. When this was over, then he switched on to Savitri. He took up Savitri blocks and started revising, rewriting, and most of the time then from that point onward in his literary activities he spent on Savitri. So this must be around 1941. He revised the Silver Dawn, rewrote few passages again and again, some of them almost 25 times. Some of the passages of the Life Divine, of the Silver Dawn, you see. And when he was kind of satisfied with that, then he proceeded with the other parts. So, book 1, book 2, book 3, what we are now doing, it must have been around 1942. Therefore, this line, a new and marvelous creation, should be around that time. We can't exactly fix it, but that is no surmise, and I think it is reasonable enough. In fact, in book 2, canto 11, there is a line, the real invisible atoms omnipotent force. The real broken, split, fissioned, real invisible atoms omnipotent force. He wrote in 1942. In the second book, canto 11, this line appears there. Now, this real and invisible atoms omnipotent force, he has written long before the atom bomb was prepared. He saw the conflagration that will come from a broken atom itself, you see, completely. The whole vision was there. In 1942 itself, he saw that. And in 1942, 2nd December 1942, the first atomic reactor as a beginning of nuclear fission was commissioned into operation. Sri-Aurobindo was not aware. It happened in 2nd December 1932. Sri-Aurobindo wrote this line much before that. I think the draft where it occurs is dated 6th September 1942. September 19, long before the graphite reactor was commissioned in Chicago, USA, you see. So, I mean, you get the whole thing completely. So, if this draft is 1942, September 1942, from this honor to come to this particular line, canto 3 of book 3, what we are doing, a new and marvelous creation should be about the same kind of a period, you see. So I would tend to believe that this was around 1942, that a new and marvelous creation took birth in the house of the Spirit. In the house of the Spirit. Which also means that along with this new and marvelous creation, the corresponding new transcendental gods also took birth. It was hour before the gods were born. The gods were born, these new transcendent gods pertaining to this new creation were also born about that time, and it is these gods which will carry out Buddha's power, you see. So that way, there is enormous amount of occult stuff of which we are not really aware. It is unfortunate that Sri-Aurobindo got asked about it, although most of these things have started coming out in the fascicles during 45 to 1950, so they were kind of in the public domain already, but nobody kind of asked him about the details at that time, nor anybody asked later on to the mother, what does all that mean, you see. So we can keep on now making guesses, throw ideas, make imaginations also possible, and try to figure out what all that means. Now this particular thing, in the house of the Spirit, a new and marvelous creation, and along with that, in my opinion, in my understanding, my perception, the new gods, the birth of the new gods, that is the temporal, the time it was the hour before the gods were born. Now, that is the time when the gods were born. This was the hour, 1942, when these new gods were born. This can happen only when there is the perfection. In that new creation, there has to be perfection of every kind. The law of perfection is what governs the new creation. What that law of perfection is what we are going to see now in the section 4 of book 3, chapter 3, running section 86. A stream ever newborn that never died. This is what we saw last time. Heraclitus, you see, kind of a reference to Heraclitus, you see. Caught in his thousand-fold current, ravishing flow, joy's vessel, which is eddies of immortal sweetness, stream, eddies of sweetness, currents, whirlpool. He bore calling through his members as they passed his members in the physical, mind will. It is in the physical, not in the mind, not in the vital, but in the physical. His members as they pass all moments of interminable delight, the bliss of a myriad who are one. Calm moments of interminable delight. We also saw last time this line, see. All that happens when in this vast outbreak of perfection's law, the whole new creation is founded, is governed by perfection's law. Perfection everywhere, in every respect. And now it is this which we are going to see what the perfection's law is working over there. See. In this vast outbreak of a perfection, he says outbreak. See, it's not that it is there, because it means that it is consistent with the idea, with the mind. A new and marvelous creation arose. When it comes, then perfection's law breaks out. Outbreak is linked up with that. It is a new thing, it is an outbreak. Perfection's law itself is, in this mind itself, kind of reasserting the rising up of new and marvelous creation. In this vast outbreak of perfection's law, imposing this fixity on the flux of things. Now this is important. This again, this line echoes with this one. A stream ever newborn that never dies. See, it is kind of related with that line again, imposing its fixity on the flux of things. Perfection's law is imposing its fixity, its permanence, its stand on the flux of things. Things which move. Things have to move. We cannot remain static. See, perfection's law working in a static world is meaningless. Imposing this fixity on the flux of things. He saw a hierarchy of music playing and flipped to this highest kingdom of God, to this highest kingdom in the house of the Spirit, at topmost level of God's state, that is the house of the Spirit, at the topmost level, and in fact, this kind of a territory, domain, province of the high God state, a small realm in the transcendent of this one, you see. Enfiat. This image, of course, Enfiat is an old-fashioned word. belonging to the feudal period. Each one had his own pieces of land, territory under his control, and all the authority, all the power of collecting revenue, etc., used to be in the hands of the in charge of that fiefdom, you see. It was there in India, it was there in Europe also, until recent times. And it is highest kingdom. See, this is important. This new creation is over there. It is not from any intermediate world. Now here, this is imposing. Is it necessary to impose that law? Perfect is law. Better, yeah. It has to be. Because the flux of things is not really yet attuned to the perfection's law. It will not accept, it will not receive it of its own. It is not prepared. So a kind of a force is required that it should be done that way. Attaining to one truth, their own right rule, there. Attaining to one truth, there stands for planes. Each plane, each hierarchy of planes, their own right rule means there are words and words over there, planes up there, here in that place. Perhaps one of the ways of looking at could be there is a world, there is a plane of the mind of light. Plane in the mind of light. There is plane of the life of light. There is a plane of matter of light, mind of light, life of light, matter, substance of light. These are the planes now over there. We don't have this in here. So it is those planes now which are coming into view. Leaveless mind, not leaveless, mind of light, which is full of light. Light itself having, presenting itself as a mind. Light itself presenting as life. Light itself presenting as matter, you see. These are the planes, and they are one about the other. Now, these are the new planes which have been established, inserted in the hierarchy of these planes. There is Yogi himself. The Yogi who had built a new creation is also inserted this new plane, this hierarchy of new planes is his work. They are not there until now. They are not there obviously. For what? What purpose they serve? When the new creation is there, when other things are there, then you see the necessity of linkages of planes. And therefore you start inserting those planes. This is there, this is here. So in between them you build up a sort of a ladder between this. Kingdom of God stage, attaining into one truth, their own right rule, each has the gladness of a bright degree. So life has her own gladness, mind has its own gladness, matter has its own gladness. Each has the gladness of a bright degree, alone in beauty, perfect in self-kind, perfect life, perfect mind, perfect matter, substance, perfect body, physical, an image cast by one deep truth, absolute, married all to all in happy difference. Married to all in happy difference. That is important. It has to be different. It is not a monotony. It is not a monotony. Mind of light is an entity by itself. Life of light is an entity by itself. Body of light is an entity by itself. They are different. Yet they are belonging to that truth absolute. And there is no conflict between them. Married to all in happy difference. Each gave its powers to help its neighbor's pass. So life gives something to mind, mind gives something to etc. Kind of interchange and exchange. Each gave its power to help its neighbor's power, but suffered no diminution by the gift. Well, this is what happens in our family also. You exchange presents, you exchange good wishes and all that thing. You see, profit is a mystic interchange. Well, it is a mystic interchange, and each one is profiting from the other. It does not mean, you see, for instance, mind of light means something from the life of light, dynamism, vibrancy, push, that kind of a thing. Body also. They grew by what they took and what they gave. Obviously, that interchange. Well, this is the law of perfection operating in those worlds. When things are exchanged, this is the law of perfection is operating. In our world, how do we live? The eater eating is eaten. The eater eating is eaten. You live on life and life grows like that. It's not that you extend and grow. All others they felt as their own completeness, one in the might and joy, one in the might and joy of multitude. So there is a kind of a oneness, there is a kind of a harmony, there is a kind of a relationship, exchange there. Even the boys where oneness draws apart to feel the rapture of his separation, the soul in solitude yearn towards all, and the many turn to look back at the one. So there is a multiplicity of relationship, and it is not a kind of a monotonous creation that everyone is saying. Each one has its own individuality, its own character, its own speciality of expression. And all revealing, all creating this, all revealing, all creating bliss, seeking for forms to manifest truth divine. Well, it is a bliss which is really rushing around everywhere. Form, for expression, you see. Manifest truths divine. Each one, a diamond, a pearl, a jewel, whatever you call it, has its own bliss of manifestation. Aligned in the significant mystery, the gleams, the symbols, the ineffable, blazoned like hues upon a colorless air, on the white purity of the witness soul. So he is standing around, he is seeing the whole thing, watching it, he is a witness, he is not participating, but the play goes on, you see. Seeking for forms to manifest truth divine. Actually, this is the entire purpose of bliss, to manifest truth divine in various forms. So bliss is the creator of all the forms, therefore all creative. And what it reveals? His own self, his identity, his uniqueness, everywhere. Aligned in the significant mystery, the gleams and the symbols of the ineffable, blazoned like you, shining, open out, announcing, proclaiming, so to say, like hues upon a colorless air. When these forms are not there, it is a kind of a blank. It is a kind of a blank. See, when you have got only white, it is a kind of a colorless air. But when the different colors start coming out, then you see building, I am there, I am red, I am green, I am yellow, I am gold, I am green, you see. They are building out, you see, announcing their own presence. blazing or shining out. Blaze, we can use that also, shining out. And white purity, that is right. Whiteness. This white and this hues are the spectral colors of the light. These hues were the very prism, in fact he has now specified, very prism of the Supreme. What do they display? Each one. The green had the quality of the Supreme in it. The gold had the quality of the Supreme in it. The silver had the quality of the Supreme in it. Everything. He is with the very prism of the Supreme. His beauty, power, delight, creation cause. Why I am blue? Why I am green? What is the purpose of that? That is what that is saying here. His beauty. He is Supreme. Prism of the Supreme. A vast truth consciousness. Vast truth consciousness. Brahat Satyam. Vast Brahat Satyam truth consciousness. Look at these signs, these hues, these colors, these blazing symbols, to pass them on to some divine child heart that looked on them with laughter and delight. So the child is raised kind of thing, laughing, that looked on them with laughter and delight, and joy in those transient images, living and real as the truths they house, living and real as the truths they house, images, transcendent images they house. The space, white neutrality, again we say white neutrality. You got here white purity of the witness soul. White neutrality, here you got white neutrality, here you got white purity of the witness soul. This witness soul corresponds to this neutrality. The Spirit's white neutrality became a playground of miracle, a rendezvous for the secret powers of a mystic timelessness, a secret playground of miracle, a playground of miracle. What a line, a playground of miracles, you see. A rendezvous for the secret powers of mystic timelessness. See, this is the technique, this is the art, poetic art of the master. All along we have got more or less end-stop lines. You have a pause there, but here, the rendezvous for the secret powers. See, it runs on, that line runs on. Enjama. You don't stop, there is a slight pause, but really not a pause. A rendezvous for the secret power. You see, you have to run on there. A playground of miracles, a rendezvous for the secret powers, a mystic timelessness. That is the art of the poetry, poetic art. This line also. Now, a playground, I will scan this line, a playground, as an amethyst. Short law, a playground, not playground, a playground. Playground, expressive, married, second, that is I am. Merely comes, third, prick, short, a rendezvous, I am. Who, again a prick. So you have got an amethyst, and I am a prick, and I am a prick, or the secret power of a mystic timelessness. It made a space, a marble house of God. Now when all that happens in space, of course in time also it means, it becomes a marble house of God, Ishavasyam, for the habitation of the Lord. The habitation of the Lord, house of God, a place of time, space time, his words of endless might, and her is seen as a luring, rapturous film, the wonder and beauty of his love and force. And her is seen as a luring, rapturous film, the wonder and beauty of his love and force. Again, your line, the wonder, first I am, and then and do, second foot, third foot of its love, fourth and fourth, fifth foot. A wonder and beauty. Means first is an, the second is a amethyst, third is a pyrrhic, fourth and fifth are again amps. Wonder and beauty of his love and force. See, the variation gives a kind of charm to the whole poetry, you see. It is not monotonous, iambic. The eternal goddess moved in her cosmic house. Now, this marble house of God, it is that which has become the cosmic house for the eternal goddess, the omniscient goddess, the supreme divine mother. She has now here a cosmic house, sporting with God as a mother with her child. So she is sporting with God, taking God himself as her child in the cosmic house. In the cosmic house. The eternal goddess, beyond all its manifestation, beyond all its creation, is the spouse of the Supreme. She is the spouse of the Supreme, this eternal goddess, beyond. But when it comes to the cosmic plane, she becomes his mother. She becomes his mother in the cosmic house. The Supreme himself, in the cosmic shape, he is her child. That is the perfect description also as we have in the Veda of Aditi. The eternal goddess moved in a cosmic house, sporting with God as a mother with a child. To him the universe was her bosom of love. His toys were immortal verities. You see, what perfect description, you see. His toys were immortal verities. Our reality of truths are there, you see, as his toys. So this is what happens. The goddess herself becoming the mother of her husband, you see. All here self-lost had there his divine place. All here. Now the context is slightly changing. You see how gradually it is coming down. Cosmic, now here. All here, self-lost. Why self-lost? Because it is not there. What is there is not here. All here, self-lost, had there his divine place. The powers that here betray our hearts and earth. The powers that betray and earth. Grammatically, the powers that betray and earth. The powers that betray our hearts and the powers that earth. Who are sovereign in truth, perfect in joy, masters in a creation without flaw, possessors of their own infinitude. So all these powers they are in possession of their own infinitude. Is God His full power in possession of His infinitude? Indra, Vayu, Varuna, Paga, Mitra, all those great gods, you see, possessors of their own infinitude. They are now he is describing one by one the whole cosmic play. You see, the entire description is about this cosmic house now. First, those high gods now coming down, where? First the powers, all these gods. Then mind. There, mind, a splendid sun of radiance rays. This is the mind of light. You see, these are the planes of new creation, the hierarchy, inferior to the supreme state. He's talked of the inferior plane, hierarchy of plane. So these are the hierarchies of planes now in the cosmic play. Their mind, a splendid sun of visions rays, takes a stand by the glory of his thoughts. So the physical was molded by the glory of the mind's thought and moved amidst the grandeur of its dream, of mind, of its own, and moved amid the grandeur of its dream. Whatever mind dreams, it is there, you see. Then comes imagination, mind, imagination, great and soaring rod, the magic band of imagination, summoned the unknown and gave to it a home. Yes, come and stay here. By the magic band, you see, outspread luxuriantly in golden air, twixt iris-colored wings of fantasy, or sang to the intuitive heart of joy, wonders dream notes that bring the real close. Wonders dream notes that bring the real close. So you see, mind, following that imagination, following that intuition, he is describing all the grades now of the hierarchy of plane. Imagination, great and sorcering rod, summoned the unknown and gave to it a home, outspread luxuriantly in golden air, twist iris-colored wings of fantasy, or sang to the intuitive heart of joy, wondrous dream notes that bring the real flows. So that is what the imagination and intuition in the two contents will do. They will bring the real closer to us. His power that makes the unknowable near unto his mind. The whole description is for the mind. That makes the unknowable near and true. In the temple of the ideal, shrine the one. So here now sitting that one of the ideal. Of course, in this play, we have got the real, we have got the ideal. They are separate, the real and the ideal. They are not a real idea. Because in the cosmic play, they have to separate themselves out. Yet each one should possess their respective divine quality. In the temple of the ideal, shrine the one, so sitting there, with pure thought and mind and happy sun. So you see, imagination, intuition, then sense, manas, sun, filled with bright aspects of the might of God and living person of the one supreme. The speech that voices the ineffable, the ray revealing unseen presences, the virgin forms to which the formless shine, the world that ushers divine experience, the world that ushers divine experience, and the ideas that crowd the infinite. Now this is the power of the mind with all its luminosity, with all it shines the one. Mind, sense, manas, sense, that is manas. Filled with bright aspects of the mind of God, everything now God. Filled with bright aspects of the mind of God, and living present persons of the one supreme, each one. The speech. See, so you have got now sense, you have got speech, you have got revelation, you have got forms, you have got word, you have got ideas, all belonging to this mind of light of the new creation. The new creation. There was no gulf between the thought and fact. Ever the reply like bird to calling bird, the will obeyed the thought, the act, the will. There was a harmony woven twixt soul and soul, between idea and idea, between speech and speech, between imagination and imagination. There was a harmony woven twixt soul and soul. In marriage with eternity, divinize the time. So this whole description,
Sir, mind of light, sir.
that we are calling it. See, he is breaking up now names of hierarchy. That is the kind of mind of light, not this one.
Not this one.
Mind, as I say, mind of light, light of light, body of light. So these are the aspects of the new creation.
Yes.
And this whole description is of that mind. What is that mind after all? It is that mind belonging to the new creation. So we call it mind of light in essence.
Yeah, but you said not the mind of life of here. You mean here there is another mind of life?
Yeah, well, in this occult terminology, mind of light means the physical mind receiving the supernatural light and force.
Yes.
Here. Now, he is talking of the mind. What kind of mind it is there? It is that mind which is now being described here in great details, you see. In 4-5 sentences, you see. Their mind, a splendid sun, you see, a splendid sun. That is the mind of light. The true mind of light.
Not when she described it to the supramental being and mind, she said there what we can think the clothes. Whatever you think, you have it.
Yes.
Like exactly like you were saying this. So it's the same mind, supramental mind.
Yeah, and you have described in great detail. So, in the new creation, the quality, the type, the splendor, the grandeur, the sun of mind is what has been described here. Splendid sun of visions rays, that is the true nature of mind. It is that which should come here down. Divine mind, what we call divine mind.
The word of mind is
Yeah, well, no, basically, it is a certain faculty of the divine, which is required for separation, for form, for discrimination, that kind of a thing is required, you see. Here what has happened is, the separation is analytical, we break, we fish it out, you see. So from 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is a description of this mind belonging to this new creation. A marriage with eternity divinize that time. So the time divinization can take place when this marriage with eternity occurs of mind. Now, coming to life, in this law of perfection, see this is the perfection of mind. What we have. Now, perfection's law as far as life is concerned. They are life pursuit and very of a sport and very of a sport. Joy in our heart and laughter on our lip. So this is the nature of life. Vivacity, brilliance, movement, swiftness, running, rushing, bubbling. You can see the contrast between life and mind. The bright adventure of God's game of chance in her ingenious ardor of her life. In her ingenious ardor of capital, in her transferring mirth, she mapped on time a fascinating puzzle of event. This is what she does. Moved at each turn by new vicissitudes to self-discovery that could never see, discovery that could never cease, that is a constant creative activity. Ever she framed, she again of course life, ever she framed stark bonds for the will to break, brought new creations for the thoughts surprise and passionate ventures for the heart to dare. There took record with an unexpected fail, or else repeated old familiar joy, might the return of delightful rhyme. Return of a delightful rhyme. Well, that is what the verse is. You have got rhyming, so you come back to the same moment, you see. That is why the verse, delightful rhyme. Like the return, that is coming back to the verse form. At hide and seek, well, that is the nature of life. On a mother wisdom's breast, on a mother wisdom breast, that mother wisdom, that cosmic goddess, that eternal goddess who has now become the cosmic, whose child is this creation. An artist teeming with a world idea, she never could exhaust his numberless thoughts and vast adventure into thinking shapes and trial and live as a new living supreme. So she keeps on creating. That is her constant pursuit, life, ambition, youth, creation form. She is tired of the same ways, you see. I'm tired. I said tired. I'm tired of sameness and I'm tired of change. Endlessly see. Unroll her moving act, a mystic drama of divine delight. So constant change, constant pursuit, constant bring out new possibilities of expression. That is a living poem of world ecstasy. That is what she does. A living poem of world ecstasy. A katamano of significant forms. So that is Japanese image, the scroll on which the whole thing is written down, see. Beautiful calligraphy also on that. A living poem of world ecstasy. That is life's creation. Living poem of world ecstasy, a catamano, a significant form, a coiled perspective of developing scene, constantly being out, a brilliant chain of self-revealing saying, an ardent hunt of soul, looking for soul, a seeking and a finding as of flowers. That is a constant pursuit. So this is the character of life. Well, it goes on. Well, this is, that's all right. This is the character of life. 17. From 17 to 20, 21 also, So a few sentences for that mind of light, a few sentences for that life of light. Now, there matter. You see, again, you use the word there. The new creation. You see. You have not forgotten. There, matter in a form, spirit's form, density, and artistry of glad openness of self. That is the form, the physical form, output, the structure. Yeah, yeah. A treasure house of lasting images, really lasting images. You take a diamond, you take a coral, you take anything, it's a lasting image, permanently there, brilliant, its own shape, its own form, its own character, you see. Even the coral reefs are so brilliant, what kind of creation it is. Amazing, coral reef. How matter can express beauty, that is what we see. Now, when this divine matter becomes, we don't know, okay, we really want to be here. You have any idea how the corals are formed?
The forest.
How the corals are formed?
Corals, yes. It's just calcium.
No, calcium, carbonate, the carbonate, chloride, that is chemical. Yeah. But suppose for sake of argument, I will recreate all the environmental conditions in a tank. Can I produce coral?
Question: if he wants to produce the coral underwater, a coral reef, the coral reef, so if you are creating the same conditions under which they grow in the tank, can you grow them?
Yeah, all tank.
Yeah, artificially you produce the same condition.
Or tank or whatever you want to call it, you see.
You grow them artificially, that's his question.
Can you do it on your tongue? No, there is a medicine that are good, but not
If I can discover that, it will be wonderful.
and you recreate them.
You should be able to. No, not possible.
I don't know. I think everybody has just tried.
I think nobody has given thought to that.
Only on the science fiction movie, yeah. You see,
To really attempt how the corals will form, I mean, is it necessary also that there should be a kind of a biological environment around them to be formed?
but look, the problem with the corals is they don't grow in one lifetime. They grow in 50 years or 100 years.
I'm willing to wait for
In 100 years, perhaps you have a
I am willing to wait for all that. The point is, can I produce that thing in my tank in the house here?
no, because it takes long. The coral is
Literally. It will take so long time. I don't know about that.
you have to come back to look. Nobody did it. Till now, nobody did it. You cannot do it because
The fact that the corals are not present everywhere in the ocean, but only in certain places. For instance, in the Andamans, there are certain places where we have corals. Of course, Australia, the coral reef is there famous. So there are certain specialities of the surroundings also which give rise to these corals, you see. Whether that can be reproduced in some manner. Well, basically here, matter is trying to express beauty in every way, everywhere. Coral is an example. All the pearls, all the mountains, all the precious stones, they are trying to express something of the spirit. And it is that their matter, that of course they are not living, they are not dynamic, they are kind of frozen things, you see. Their matter, the spirit, therefore it is firm density, fixed, you see. An artistry of glad outwardness of self. A treasure house of lasting images where sense can build a world of pure delight, the home of a perpetual happiness. It lasts the hours as in a pleasant inn. The senses there matter. Now, coming further, the senses there were outlets of the soul. Even the youngest child thought of the mind incarnated some touch of highest thing. Even the element, the infant beginning of the thing had something of that highest thing. Their substance was a resonant harp of self, a net for the constant lightning into the spirit, a magnet power of love's intensity, whose yearning thought and adorable and adoration's cry grew, God's approach is close, sweet, wonderful. So that is what the beauty of form should be. When there is the beauty of form in matter, God is kind of attracted towards it. Grew, God's approach is close, sweet, wonderful. He is happy also because of that. His solidity was a mask of heavenly make. His fixity and sweet permanence of charm with a bright pedestal of felicity. So this is the mind, then life, then matter, you see, make a bright pedestal for felicity. His body is woven by divine sense, round with nearness of soul's clasped with soul. His warm play of external sight and touch reflected the glow and thrill with the heart's joy. Mind's climbing brilliant thought, the spirit's place. Life's rapture, kept forever his flame and cry. So his body's, his mind's, his life's round the nearness of soul's class with soul, his warm play of eternal thought.
So we can say that through Aurobindo he saw this matter. Because don't say it, of course, 2 weeks ago when Ashwapati he arrived to the limit, you said he arrived to the unknowable, but he doesn't know what is the unknowable, okay? And we spoke about Sri Aurobindo if he lived the supramental there or Sri Aurobindo or Ashwapati. He came back, but as I understood, he said he didn't see the supramental, and he immediately came back before the new creation started. I mean, he brought the new creation, but it didn't start yet.
Now
How he saw this matter?
he detailing out every bit of the new creation. When that happens, when the tremendous class takes place of oneness.
So he lived this
Yeah, this is stage which has come afterwards.
afterwards. Afterwards, not in this moment when he.
No, this is now entirely in the context of the new creation which has arisen in after yogic siddhi.
No, I know.
In a way,
When he arrived there, immediately he came back to bring. He let the mother bring but at that moment, not at that moment he left this matter. He left this after, no? The supervision.
a new and marvelous creation rose
Okay.
with all these details. With all these details.
All the details. Yeah.
He is now listing out all the details of the new and marvelous creation. It's not simply a word, new creation. What are those things? It rose with all these details, with all these features, with all these qualities.
That's a my question. So we received all the details of the new.
No, he has seen or he has created. Created. If the new and marvelous creation rose because of his offered power, offered siddhi, offered will, by will force, that new creation arose with all these qualities.
But the mother created, no? Mother created.
Mother will bring out separately. But as far as establishing it over there, it is his job, it is his concern.
He made it potentially possible, and she.
No. He is not just possible, he has to create it over there.
But he is not a creator.
Over there, he has built it by yogic force he has done. Now to bring it into manifestation.
Bring it down, the mother has to do that.
So that is what will go now in the canto 4 of this book. He goes and prays to the Divine Mother, now please come and do your job.
He created it basically in the mind form.
He is
Yogic will and mind form.
But the yogic will is establish it.
To have it come down on matter, that's mother's task.
That's right.
Yes. So let's be clear. He lived this detail, or he knew this details, or he had the knowledge of these details, or he lived.
Well, by he has the knowledge, means he doesn't have knowledge. His yogic tapasya, his yogic process towards this must to give rise to nutrition with all these qualities for whatever was required for that to be done, that he accomplished in his yogic sadhana.
He accomplished this.
In his yogic sadhana. That is why it is a creation of his rose. See, it is not that it is given by somebody. Out of my yogic will, my yogic force, it has come out. That is a tremendous work, you see. That is the work of the avatar. All that now passes, well, his body is woven by divine sun, prolonged in nearness, made a bride for yourself of felicity. Okay, you have to read that thing. His body is woven by divine sun, prolonged in nearness of soul's class with soul. His warm play of external sight and touch reflected the glow and thrill of the eternal joy. Mind's climbing brilliant thoughts dispels the blame. Life's rapture kept forever his flame and cry. All that now passes lived immortal there in the proud beauty and fine harmony of matter, plastic to spiritual light. What the spiritual light wants, how it plays, it becomes plastic. The spiritual light. Our matter is not plastic at all. Very, very rigid. It's ordered hours. Matter. Ordered hours. Proclaim the eternal law. Vision repose on a safety of deathless form. Vision repose on a safety of deathless form. Already the question of death has not arrived there. Deathless form. Time was eternity's transparent robe. So he's moving around wearing time as a robe.
It's so different.
Time was eternity's transparent robe, you see. An architect viewing of self's living rock. Self's living rock. Viewing, he is cutting now, sculpting. He is sculpting, you see.
Why it's the summer house?
It is matter.
Why it's summer?
An architect viewing our self's living rock.
What is the self's living rock? What is it?
This whole thing, matter now, is a living rock. Out of it, now, things are happening. Forms, eternal. You see, he talks of forms, no? Matter, plastic to spiritual life. An architect viewing out self's living rock. The whole thing, matter now, is a living rock for cutting out whatever. A phenomenon built reality is summer house. So, you have got a playhouse now.
Summer house? What is the summer house?
Phenomenon built realities summer house. On the beaches of the sea of infinity. So this is a very modern image. See, very modern image.
Yeah, because winter is nothing else.
This is modern image, you see. An architect viewing ourselves living rock, phenomenon built reality is summer. So the whole creation now with all these qualities is based on the law of perfection, the divine perfection, divine harmony. Perfection means that, perfection means everything, beauty, love, sweetness, joy, everything.
It really is so different here, you cannot imagine.
Yeah,
Really, this will be so wonderful.
yeah. You see now, you have described, you see how he prepared, again this glory of spiritual states. He is now coming back to the reality of this world.
First you have to go through the whole darkness.
Yeah, now you know all that we do
Conquer the darkness and conquer this and
So I think we'll take these two sections next time.